Hello guys, so in this video I want to show you the advertising strategy specifically with dynamic creatives that we've used in the last 30 days to do, you can see $433,000 with the ad spend of 128. So dynamic creatives we've started using recently, and it's basically pretty efficient. We used to not to use it a lot, but now we are using it pretty substantially. I want to show you some of the results here. For instance, the good thing about the dynamic creatives is that we have found it to be more stable than regular ads. So let me show you here. For example, in this particular campaign, if we do the breakdown by the dynamic creative, we are only using one piece of content, right? So pretty much you can see the structure here. It is very simple. So we are selling the same product and the same angle for this product. So all of these ads have the same angle, but then, we're targeting interests. So here we're targeting lookalikes, here we're targeting interest, lookalike, the most valuable customers, interest and interest, right? So it's all over the place, right? So but then in each of these ad sets, I want to just show you the breakdown here. So we have different texts, right? And it's pretty much, some of them are like testimonials. So for example, this one here is the testimonial. Then this one is just the regular, copy. We compare it we basically compare the product to the options, right? So what are the other options people have in the marketplace? So for example, if you're choosing, let's say you're selling the water, right? So then you would compare, let's say, so I have a bottle of this water versus bottle of this water, right? So then it becomes hey, when it comes to the water, you can choose, there are so many options, right? You can choose this one, this one, this one. But then at the end of the day, if you're looking for perfect hydration, if you're looking for the best alkalines, for example, this one has 10 pH, which is good for the alkaline balance in the body, electrolytes, and then while at the same time maintaining the BPA free bottle while taking care of the environment, then this would be the best water at the best price you can get, right? So basically comparing it to the options. Then we are also addressing, that's also interesting format that we've tried recently, is compiling different testimonials in one, right? So let's say you have 3-5 testimonials, compiling all of those testimonials on top of each other in one ad copy, right? So people just go through and they're never ending testimonials. And then kind of addressing, again, another one with addressing the options. So for example, if we are selling the jackets, right? So then, and our jackets, let's say, are waterproof and they're hard to rip, then we would say, what if we would tell you that the average jacket just tears apart after some time, right? So this is how we would enter. We would enter from this perspective of comparing the product to the other options that people have in the market. And then we also have here testimonials, pretty much dial in the main kind of market. So basically, let's say you're selling the jackets, right? And then you say, the testimonial that would speak to that market would be, hey, I'm professional with the jackets, or I have so many jackets in my closet, and this one is, just the best one out of them, right? So basically, but from the perspective of customers. So these are the angles that we use with one particular product, right? So in terms of the images, it's pretty much just one image that we use here, but then different ad copies. And this is what I see a lot that entrepreneurs don't do. They don't test a lot of angles. And our ad account and advertising system that we use with our accounts is pretty much utilizes a lot of different angles, because people react to different things, and people react to, some social proof, some people react to just common sense and logic, some people react more to the emotions of other people, seeing them using that product and kind of having increased self-esteem and stuff like that. So it depends a lot on the person. That's why we're using typically 3 to 5 different angles per product. And so dynamic creative specifically allows you to test those very efficiently and then to review the results. And the results you can see here are very like astonishing, because pretty much it's the same image, right? We're selling the same product, whereas like here, for instance, for whatever reason, now that's like not a lot of data, that might not be like significant data anyway, but you can see here, let's say we have the average order value of like $49 with this particular, with this particular angle, with this particular audience. And here the same one gets like 7.5, but still, for whatever reason, the average order value here, like at least with these assets, is lower. But the key point is that we are giving Facebook a lot of variations, right? So that's what a lot of entrepreneurs are missing out. Like they would use like one ad, one video, one text, and they would just like exploit it and just use it as much as possible, which is not bad and works to some degree. But at some point your ads start to kind of like decline in the performance. And at this point, what entrepreneurs typically do, they just like, hey, okay, this product saturated, right? This product burned out, so they just move on to the next product. So with this approach, you would have a lot more consistency. You can use dynamic creative, you can easily break down the results very fast. Now, on average, the most important thing for me on average, when I look at the ad accounts, like if on average we were profitable, I don't mind about some results like this, where it's like, okay, some of them like underperform or some of them outperform. We just want to make sure we have average result is decent. So here, for example, the break-even ROAS is like 1.5. So we are, I would say, extremely profitable here. But the point is that, we also want to kind of like learn from this like ad copy. So for example, here, if we would sort by, let's say how much we spend on each. So here on each, we spend the most on this one, a lot more on this one. And on average, you can see, for example, this ad copy has produced the most like results, right? So this would be used as a ad copy, and then we can have another set of like 5 different creatives in this case, right? And we would test them with this copy, right? So we constantly take like one variable that worked the best, and we continue to just like iterate. So we see it always as an ongoing process. But you can see that also kind of like my belief, kind of like how I see it, is also changed quite a lot after seeing these results, because, creative obviously is hyper important, but then also when you have different variations of the angles, when you have the different variations of kind of like how you represent the product, you can see the metrics are just like totally different for every one of these, and with different audiences, it produces different results. So if you don't have that in place, guys, I highly recommend you start using dynamic creative, using more ad copies. Start structuring that in that way. You can see even the average order value, whatever reason. Like with this one, $67, and with this one, now this is outlier, right? Like so 116, more like outlier, not as many purchases. But even here, okay, so let's see here, like $93 versus $72. Massive difference. Or like $122, whatever reason. But that's why we have multiple variables, and we always like, it allows you here, if you do like the whatever variable you would be testing. So you can see we're only testing like one variable here. In this particular one, we are only utilizing one image, as you can see. So that's very like weird to have like this kind of like difference in performance and fluctuations while utilizing just very simple image. But then the next round will be to test these. So there's just one campaign that produced $56,000, basically to test these with another set of visuals now, right? So now we have the images, we'll test that the winning ad copy, we'll test that winning kind of like text with, let's say, 5 different images. And then we have another test, right? And then we test those against 5 new audiences. And so that's why we constantly have this like variables. That's why we never stop kind of like executing and structuring this like angles and the creative. So a lot of people talk about creative, which is awesome, but you can see even the ad copy structuring the angles. And that's why, for example, with all of our clients, we emphasize that many angles must be tested. We have a specific process for testing the angles. So then you identify the most promising ones, and then kind of goes to another round. And it's never any process which you can pass to your media buyer and they can execute on it continuously. But these are the results. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. If you're looking for help implementing this setup, the system, and basically constantly having this flow of new ideas, so whether it's for you or for your media buyers so you can scale your business profitably, then there should be a link below. You can apply for our program. It's only for people who are already doing numbers. So if you're doing less than $1,000 a day, probably that's not for you on this stage. But if you're already intermediate, advanced e-commerce entrepreneur, dropshipper, want to scale your business profitably, obviously, as you move in the direction of creating your own brand, and this is where, we help entrepreneurs with, where you would want to, let's say you have a product, let's say you have like one product, then it's kind of like your success on the advertising part would just become predicated on the angles, on the creative that you test against that product, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Again, if you're looking for help, then there should be a link below. You can apply for a program and get our personal help structuring all of these things, putting them all together, along with troubles with Facebook ad accounts getting shut down, because that's what happens a lot these days. We have the complete setup for that, how to overcome that. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure to implement the dynamic creatives, structure different angles, different ad copies to test and win. So thank you, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you can just like this video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos in the future. Thank you.